Hey guys, so the video that's going to follow, I filmed before something pretty terrible happened. I filmed a video about studying for the JLPT about 2 weeks ago. I edited it last week, and then they decided to cancel the JLPT. So I'm, as you can probably tell, I'm a little salty, just a little bit mad. I spent about somewhere between 2 or 3 hours every day for at least 2 months, studying 5 days a week, 2 or 3 hours, and then they canceled it. All of the study tips that I'm going to give you in this video are still valid for studying for the JLPT. I also think if you were starting from an N3 level and we're just starting out and say, I want to take the N2, I think it would take about 6 months. So you do have time. You don't have to go as intense as I did. I was basically on a 3-month plan. So even though this video is focused on the N2, a lot of the same studying tips can be used for the N3. Kanji and the reading, I would probably give you the exact same studying tips. Okay, have fun. So let's get right into it. I am doing 5 things, basically breaking down 5 different sections. I'm studying kanji, grammar, vocabulary, JLPT reading practice, and basic Japanese listening practice. So for number 1, we have Shinkansen Master Series Kanji book. This is the book I'm using to study kanji. There is 1,046 kanji in this book that I've studied. I study 100 kanji a week, and that's kind of how I break it down. So the first thing I do is I go through the sections in the book. It's broken down into like chapters or sections. Any kanji that I don't know or am not familiar with, I write 10 times. Then I write the meaning of the kanji by itself in English. Then I write vocabulary words, kanji, yomikate, English meaning in, whether they're a suru verb, whether they're a na adjective, anything like that. And my goal is to do 10 words a day. After that, I go over 100 different kanji and all the vocabulary words for that. So for instance, kanji 900 to 1,000, I'll read the kanji, English meaning, vocabulary words. I just read over that once for all 100 words. Once a day, every day, for a week. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes. Then at the end of the week, I do the exercises. There's an exercise section for each chapter or section in this book. And then I'll move up to the next section. Instead of doing kanji 900 to 1,000, I'll do 925 to 1,025 and kind of move up like that. Also, every lesson has a listening exercise where you listen to a sentence. It's basically a dictation. It uses kanji from that, specifically from that lesson, but also from any kanji that has come before in the book. So about this book, right? Let's talk about the book. So there's 1,046 kanji in here. Seems kind of scary, right? No, not really. So if you are coming from N3, first 550 kanji will be review. I only didn't know like 5 or 6, I think. But don't skip them just because they're review kanji. A, you need to know these because it will help you on the reading section. B, there are N2 level vocabulary words that contain sort of, not as complicated kanji that you will need to know for the reading section and maybe on the actual kanji part of the test. The last 550 to 1,046 were new kanji for me. These are the ones that are probably going to be on the actual kanji section of the N2 test. I would say the majority of kanji that I saw on the kanji sections of all the practice tests that I took and the actual test were from the latter half of the book. A little more than half of the book is review, a little more than half of it was new. For me, I already finished writing all 1,046 kanji out from the book, so I'm just studying now. Every day I go over 100 kanji. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes, right? So grammar. I'm using Try N2 for grammar. My school gave me a nice vocabulary list which has a lot, not everything I need, but a lot of the vocabulary in English. So with school, I got up to chapter 9 here. So what I did afterwards was I will go through the book, I will take notes on a specific grammar point, and my goal is to get through one section or chapter a day. Some of the chapters are broken into 2 sections, so for those chapters I just do 1 section a day. Going through one section takes about an hour. I'll go through grammar points, I'll write them down, and then afterwards there's like exercises like pick one grammar over the other. One section or one chapter takes me about an hour. The next day I will review it. There's kind of an end of the book or end of the chapter like review, so I'll do that the next day, and that also takes about an hour or two. I have gone through this whole all 14 chapters in this book and written everything down. So right now what I'm doing is I'm using my notebook and I'm going over my note. I just read 4 or 5 chapters a day. That takes 20-30 minutes. Vocabulary. I'm using the So Matome N2 vocabulary book. What I do is I go over one chapter a day, and I'm planning to do one chapter every day for a week. It takes about 20 minutes to 30 minutes to read through a chapter and just read through it once. I got up to chapter 5 in school, so it's kind of review. I have some of it I forgot, some of it I remember. I like this book because it breaks the words up into groups or things that are related, right? It has an entire chapter on adjectives. It has an entire chapter on work-related words, right? It has an entire chapter on like expressions that you need to know, right? It's broken up very well that way. The only thing I don't like about the book is that it sometimes the definitions are either not there or they're just wrong. They're either wrong or they're not what I think is the best word or the best translation for it. So I would use jisho.org to look it up. Moving on to the reading section. So I am using the Shinkansen Master Series N2 Dokai or Reading Comprehension Workbook. I'll read through the passage. I will try to answer the question. Their answers are in the back of the book. I will look up the answer and try to figure out why, obviously why that answer is better than my answer and why my answer was wrong. And then while I'm reading, I will underline words or parts I don't understand, like, I don't know what this means. I don't understand. After I've gone through the answers, I will go and look back through those, the places I didn't know. I will look up vocabulary words. If it's a grammar issue, I will look up the grammar to make sure I actually understand like what's going on in the whole passage. This is a good book because it has all of the answers listed in the back of the book, and on all of the answers, it tells you why the answer was right, but also it goes through all the other answers and says why they were wrong. Answer's number 3, right? Number 1 was wrong because of this. Number 2 is wrong because of this. Number 4 is wrong because of this, right? And it also gives an explanation of how you find the right answer in the book, which is nice because you're like, well, why? Sometimes you're just like, why? Also, the book breaks the like types of passages you will find, and it says, hey, this is how you answer these questions for this type of passage. It gives you a strategy. Now, sometimes the strategy, I don't really like all of the strategies, but at least it gives you something, and it also gives you example passages. Here's the type of question. Here's this type of passage. Here's this type of question. Let's break it down. This is the strategy we think you should use. One thing I would say about this book and the reading section, the Dokai section, is I feel the JLPT has a very specific type of Japanese passage or type of Japanese style that is used, and I don't think other commonly used books will really capture that kind of style or difficulty level. In my Japanese school, I used Tobira, right? I used Tobira, and I used Ryugakusei no Tame Dokai Training, reading comprehension training for international students. I don't feel that either of these books is as difficult or captures the same style as the JLPT Dokai, right? They're not as difficult. They don't use as difficult grammar, vocabulary, and they're just different. So if you're going to study, you don't have to use this book, but I would focus on studying for something that actually is focused on the JLPT style, because it's very specific, and I don't know if you're going to find it outside of the JLPT. For me, and everything I've seen, everything I've learned from this is much more accurate and representative of what you'll actually see on the JLPT. So that leaves listening. What am I doing for listening? The answer is I'm not really doing anything specific. I mean, I watch Japanese TV or movies, like I've been watching Dr. X a lot lately. It's on Amazon Prime if you want to check it out. And I've been watching, Suri Bakanishi, like the idiot fisherman's journal with Japanese subtitles. I don't think that's available in the US, but I've also been watching Kemio. He does YouTube in Japanese, but he talks really fast. If I can catch what he's saying, if I can just hear the words, maybe not even understand, it's really fast and it's good training for just like listening. I did use this book in school, so I have it. This is the Shinkansen Master Chokai book, right? We used it in school. We didn't get through all of it. If I think I need more training later, I'll use it. When we get closer to the JLPT, about a month before, for listening, this is what I did last time, and I did really well on the listening section, so I'm probably just going to do the same thing. Is I went through past JLPT listening tests on YouTube and just listened to them. I used a YouTube channel called Hanasaki Academy, put the link below. Number one, it has the Dokai recordings, right? It has the questions, and then after each question, it has the script and the answer, right? It will tell you the answer, and then it will have the entire script so you can read it out if you don't get it, if you're like, why was that the answer? So that's what I'm doing. Honorable mention. So this is a book, it costs money. So you're a student, you want to save some money. Memrise is a free language learning app. There is a course that has all of these words. Every single word, it's broken down into chapters the same way it is in the book for free. You can put Memrise on your phone. If you want this course, you're going to have to search for it on the website. You can't use in the app. You're going to have to go through it on the website and subscribe to it on the website, and then it'll appear in your app. But it's free. So if you want to use that for this specifically, there's also a Memrise course for this book as well, for the Shinkansen Master Kanji book. The Memrise courses are legit. Like they were made by people. Somebody just went through and said, hey, I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna put all the words in by day, right? And I'm gonna put all the definitions. These were made by people. I don't know who made them. Whoever made them, thank you. That's what I've been doing. I don't know if I'm excited, but I feel more confident. I've been feeling really good, especially about Dokai, right? Dokai, right? Dokai, I failed the Dokai section by 1 point last time, and honestly, even just going through this book, I feel a lot more confident and I feel a lot better about Dokai so far. So I'm feeling better. I hope you guys are not going too crazy during this time. Hopefully we can study together. Everybody can pass. Let's get better Japanese together, guys. Talk to you next time. Bye!